Hello, this is Wazari Johnson. This is my viewing room. Welcome. So this is the area where I place the finished pieces for display purposes. When clients come by, they can look at what we have available and make a purchase. We have a wide assortment of objects, different designs.
Hey guys, welcome once again to Good News Jamaica, where we search the island for hidden gems. Today we're actually located in Jerusalem with a wonderful creative, Wazari Johnson. So this man is a pioneer, a trailblazer in the ceramics industry. Wazari, what going?
Here, man, doing good.
Yeah, man. I can see that. Like just by looking at the work that's all around us, I can see that you're doing good. So tell us a little bit more about Wazari.
Alright, so I'm Wazari Johnson. I'm a ceramist, but I like to just consider myself a general creative because I illustrate, paint, write. I'm interested in anything creative.
So you say me never did a lie, right? Illustrate, paint, a ceramist, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Because for that, so, when did you actually get into this field of ceramics, and why did you?
Well, I got involved in ceramics in my third year at Edna Manley.
Okay.
I went in foundation year with the hopes of becoming an illustrator and launching a comic book company. And then when I went into the ceramics department in my foundation year, I started to fall in love with clay and the whole process in terms of just molding clay and firing it and seeing it become something different and new. And I did second year in sculpture, and then I decided to transfer over to ceramics. So I took some of the elements from sculpture and then took that into ceramics.
Nice. So like how long in total, like how many years have you been actually doing it for?
Well, I'm doing it for 21 years now. Yeah.
So you're a master at it now?
No. I think ceramics is a process that you always will be learning.
And it's always improving as you go along the way. All right.
Because you don't know what you're going to get. You know, sometimes you fire something with the hopes of it coming out a particular color, and just the gaseous exchanges that take place in the kiln, it comes altered and designs look different, and it's just always a surprise. It's like every time I open the kiln, it's like a child on Christmas Day. You just don't know what is in the package, you know.
And I can tell it's definitely a love of yours because I can feel the passion while you talk about it. Love that. So like, how long is the process though? Like to actually like get started and have a complete item for you. How long is the process?
It varies from item to item. Like a bowl, which is pretty much straightforward. Throwing the bowl on the potter's wheel takes minutes, like 7 minutes. But depending on the atmospheric conditions, it can take, on a dry day, it can take about 2 days for a vessel to dry to prepare it for firing. Or when the atmospheric pressure is away where you have a lot of moisture and so on, it might take 4 days. And because you have to dry it first in the sun naturally, and then you put it into the kiln for initial firing. That takes it to a stage where we call it biscuit, where it's like stone-like in quality, and then you add layers to it, and then you fire it a second time. And that's what gives you the colors, and it seals the pores of the piece, so it's food safe, or the piece lasts longer. You know, so it just depends on what you're making. Like if I'm making a sculpted head or something like that, that could take days.
So that piece that's actually behind you, like how long did that piece take?
This piece would take like half of a day. Okay, cool. Because you'd have to, well, doing something like this, I'm not at the level where I can throw it all at once. So you throw it as a composite piece. So you throw the lower half
Okay.
And then you make another piece. But you have potters that can actually throw something big like that all the way up. I don't have that kind of strength or technical know-how as yet. That's why I'm not a master. You know, it's you hone the skill over time, and with time you find that you become a different potter at each stage of your life. You know,
it's just a process. The process is definitely unique. So, how has it been for you as a ceramist in Jamaica?
Honestly, it has been a good journey. You know, I remember when I told a number of persons that I was going to become a full-time ceramist and leaving college. I was discouraged. I was discouraged in terms of pursuing that course. Person said I should teach, or they said that you can't do it. You know, it's just not done.
You always have the naysayers.
Yeah, and 21 years later, I'm still doing it, and there is a market for ceramics here locally. There's a market for it regionally.
Definitely.
The only regret I have is I started on a shoestring budget, and all the years, you know, ceramics are any creative industry locally seen like a risk industry.
Okay.
So you find yourself always kind of operating with a shoestring budget.
Okay.
You know, but I believe that I have had a good journey. I've seen results from doing ceramics, positive results, and I'm still seeing positive results, and ceramics has actually done a lot for me personally in terms of exposure, in terms of my work, taking me to different places, helping me to meet various people.
As you mentioned, as far as exposure, like what has been your high point in your career?
I think going to Tanzania for additional training with a UNDP, ACP, EU sponsored project. That was a high point because I've always wanted to go to Africa.
Exactly.
and you know, being there in Tanzania for a month and seeing that side of the world. And
I've always heard of Zanzibar. Have you been there?
No, my friend Vicky actually went on an adventure by herself there. And she said it was a nice experience. But I played it safe and stayed right in Dar es Salaam. But it was totally different from what I was told Africa would be.
Exactly.
I've been to different countries worldwide, but Africa, right there in Africa, East Africa, Tanzania, is the only place I've been to outside of Jamaica that I would consider living. Yeah.
I actually know somebody that left from Jamaica, then went to the US and actually left the US to go live in Tanzania.
Yeah.
So it must have been a great experience.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful place. The people are beautiful. I grew up watching a lot of Discovery Channel, so when I went on a safari for the first time and saw the animals in their natural environment, my eyes started to water. You know, I'm not embarrassed to say it. I was seeing lions in their natural environment, seeing giraffes and elephants and so on. It was mind-blowing.
Awesome.
It was just like I was teleported to a different world. It just felt like a whole different world.
Awesome stuff. So where the industry is currently, are you pleased with where it is currently, or where would you want to see it?
I can't say fully that I'm pleased. I see a lot of room for growth in terms of we have a lot of material locally here that I use a lot of white earthenware because I use intense colors and the lighter colored body pronounces my colors more. But I currently bring in the white earthenware, or when others source it, I buy it from them. The easiest clay to access here is a darker brown. They call it Ligani clay. It's a brown earthenware, and that's the easiest one to source. But we have stoneware clay here. We have a wide variety of clay here. We have kaolin here. not much investment is placed into
Local.
mining clay or processing it because it doesn't seem economically feasible, and for potters who would be interested in mining raw material here for the purpose of production, again, there's not much investment in the creative industries.
Definitely.
There are those barriers. So the industry is challenged in terms of access to financing, assistance with marketing, and so on. And I think the policies connected with exports in Jamaica are restrictive.
Okay.
And we are minutes away, if you consider Miami. We are like an hour and a half away from one of the largest consumer markets in the world, and we are not really making use of it.
Okay.
You know, people who live all the way in Indonesia and all those other areas supply the US market with gift solutions, including ceramic gift solutions.
So why Jamaica?
And we are so close. And then energy costs locally. The importation of raw materials, you have limitations in all those areas. So it's a painful process trying to access a market beyond Jamaica.
Okay.
There are so many restrictions, and you have leaders that I think are limited in their scope. And it's not just one political party.
No, man,
I've been doing this for 21 years, and you see this kind of dissonance, you know, when it comes on to the potential of creative industries here. And all over the world, creative industries contribute significantly to the GDP
to the growth
of many nations.
Exactly.
You know, I believe in Japan, it accounts for over 14.5 billion of their GDP, with manga, you know, the comic books and anime and all those other things. In the United States, over 20 billion. You know, other places, Europe, are up in the billions. You know, from a wide cross section of publishing, illustration, painting, fine arts. All of it contributes significantly elsewhere. I have a lot of creatives living in Jamaica. A lot of creatives. And you have a lot of great stories coming out of this island. And it's not just for ceramics. It's just like creativity is somewhat stifled here. And the world is changing, the technology is changing, and we are not making use of it, and there's not much assistance even in film making. Once you have to have this big distribution company behind you, or somebody interested, and then put you onto a big distributor and a production company. These days people can easily go straight to Netflix or Amazon and pitch their film, and I think we have a lot of interesting stories.
Yes,
you know, from slavery to the rebellions that took place here, and our process in becoming a nation. And
just the culture itself.
The culture itself, you know.
Everybody wants a piece of Jamaica, wants to understand what Jamaica is, but it's just it is for those who's in control to actually see the vision also, for sure.
And I think over the years, not to sound very critical of leadership in the country, but there has been a lot more lip service than actual action, you know, and actual investment taking place. And right now, we have slept so long on our creative industries. I think if we keep sleeping, the rest of the world will just pass us by. We created a music form here that has been mimicked and sampled all the world over. And I see the emergence of what they call Afrobeats right now, and people are focusing heavily on that. And you know, we have not protected our intellectual property properly. We have not maximized on its potential, and in all respects to creative industries in the various areas. And while I enjoy the process of being a creative, and I enjoy the process of being able to do it professionally, I still have these disappointments, because I see how far it can actually take us. And I don't see a framework existing to facilitate that. You know, I don't see a framework existing, and I don't know the way Jamaica is structured. If as a creative you can create that framework by yourself.
So let me ask you this though. So what is one step you see that's very, very important to kind of shedding those issues? What's one step you see that's very important right now that can help to shed those issues?
Well, I think the government are those, like for instance, the minister with the portfolio that relates to us. I think more meetings have to take place with her where we can voice some solutions. We have to actually consider and understand the nature of the creative industries, because people create these artisan villages for tourists, and then the price for a shop in the village is unattainable for a creative.
So it's hard to keep up.
That does not make any sense. You know, you probably have to find like $25,000 per month or something close to that for a shop. You know, if you are going to buy into a location in that kind of area, or if for the rent monthly, it's something like 400,000 or somewhere in that region. And the nature of the creative industries, that kind of rent is prohibitive. So sometimes I think decisions are made without consultation from the people who are actually involved in the process, who are actually earning and can tell you, well, this is what we earn for the month, and after paying that in rental, we can maintain our homes, we can send our children to school, we can, you know. So you have to have more dialogue. You can't make decisions for a demographic in a vacuum.
Especially when you don't know.
Exactly. Or you just assume. You just make assumptions, and you price people out of opportunities, you know. And in terms of, we have factory spaces not being utilized and so on. I think we can encourage more public-private partnerships in Jamaica, where we work out something where the factory spaces are accessed at a lower cost.
Makes sense.
And then you earn incrementally over a longer period, probably. But it is better to be earning something from a space than nothing at all, you know. Love that I think Factories Corporation has to come in on that conversation. I think Jumper needs to be on that conversation as well, and actually listen to our needs, and again, not make assumptions.
I'll say, because you have to keep your ears to the streets. You can't just willy-nilly just make decisions just so. Like you have to get sound advice from who is actually in it. But before we actually wrap up, what I want you to do is, how can people actually reach out to you, and where are your products actually located, where people can actually go out there and make purchases? Okay, well, in terms of social media, I'm on Instagram, and you can find me at Wazari Johnson, Wazari Johnson. So that's my full name, and the CM is for Facebook. My website is www.advocateindustries.com, and I have two websites. I have another business that I have on the side. It's a beer distributor business, and that's www.goodsexpress.com. So some of my ceramics I sell through that as well. And I'm at Things Jamaica, Island Art and Framing, and Couples Jamaica, and Rock House Hotel in Negril. So the man have him on in everything. I like it, man. Morgan Street. I like it. Before we actually close, for individuals that actually might want to get into something like this, what's one or two gems you can actually impart on them? Well, when you have a vision to do anything in the creative industries, start visiting suppliers' websites and count the costs, you know. Start putting aside, save, think
think about possible ways you can raise funds outside of going to the bank.
Definitely.
Not that I'm bashing the banking system at all, but if you can raise your funds another way, crowdfund, talk to relatives, have a fish fry, try some other means, through a partner or something like that.
Leave that as the last resort.
You don't want to get into a debt arrangement. Again, the financial sector, with all due respect, I don't think much time is invested in trying to understand the nature how agriculture and the creative industries work. And I think these two sectors are very important for our nation in terms of nation building. It's very dangerous to build an economy and tourism. It's very dangerous to just build an economy and tourism or these call centers. You have to have a diverse kind of economy. You have to have production taking place. You have to put yourself in a position where you can feed your entire populace, you know, and you have a lot of arable land and we're not producing enough food, and recently a pandemic showed us that trade lines can be severely affected to the point where you might not get basic staples coming in.
Exactly.
So when that, and right now we are seeing variants. So I think we, but going back to somebody interested in the creative industries, just try to raise your funds some other way, and then have regular banking as a last resort, and don't give up. You know, there is always ways there are always ways to achieve what you want. When I started out, it was a long, arduous process. I thought that it would be best to build a structure and operate from it. And years later, I came across another potter, another ceramist, Dana Bar, you know, a good friend of mine, and she just built a simple structure with like the it was similar in shape to a shipping container, but she made it out of poplar wood. And it cost her like $300,000, and it was just beautifully made. You know, it was just a nice wooden structure, and it was very low cost, and it did the job. You know, I wish I was looking at things like that when I started. So and for the younger generation, you have so much information now with YouTube.
Exactly.
Go on YouTube, watch what other potters are doing, see how they create their studios, try to do it at low cost, so that you are under less pressure. So that would be what I'd want to share with them. But I wouldn't discourage anybody from exploring being a creative professional. The world is expanding and things are changing, and eventually people are going to come along and get it right. And I can see getting better.
Love that.
So we have illustrated surfaces of some of the pieces. For example, this vase here, this mini vase. So I interfuse the illustrative aspect of myself with ceramics, and I enjoy these pieces, you know, because it's an opportunity to, you know, do something more to a surface, make it more playful, have something of interest on it. Have some other pieces right here. These little shells, the color solution was my wife's idea. I used to just make them basic white, but my wife came up with the idea to put glazes on them, and I like the results. So this piece right here is typically made by throwing two separate halves and then combining them, so it's a composite piece. My reason for doing this, really, I was accepted for the Florence Biennial this year, over in Florence, Italy, but COVID-19 and other complications, I decided not to push the issue to travel never know what to expect, and then never had enough sponsorship to cover the entire trip and so on. But the focus this year for the biennial was about femininity, and this piece is called The Feminine Mystique. And the concept behind it is to look at the different kind of females from different walks of life, different races and so on. And you can look at it visually and see that there is a continuous flow and interconnectedness with the images, to underscore the principle that even though females might be from different backgrounds, demographics in terms of finances and so on, we are pretty much the same. You know, well, females are pretty much the same, men are the same, you know, we have the common humanity and so on, you know. So this was like the beginning of a series I wanted to display in Florence, and hopefully I'll get accepted again in 2 years from now and be able to exhibit in Florence. I was really excited that I was accepted. You know, Florence is, well, Italy is a country that has a centuries long tradition of fine art, and to be accepted by a committee, you know, from that kind of background was really a great thing for me, you know. And I believe more opportunities will come down the road. And I love this piece because it was the first doing something like this. I wanted to start and paint more, you know, use my other talents and infuse them into ceramics. So I took a very painterly approach to the surface design, which I don't usually do, and it was just coming out of my comfort zone. So I enjoyed it, and I intend to do more series like this where I'm painting on the surface and see where it takes me. Probably the next few years of my career will be exploring this medium, you know. So this is in a nutshell. And I hope down the road you guys who are watching and viewing Good News Jamaica will you know, go online and search to see what I am doing, and hopefully down the road there will be more to see in terms of my journey and my own process. It's been good. Have a great journey.
Guys, this has been a very interesting interview, entertaining, informative, and we've been sitting here with Wazari Johnson, the great Wazari Johnson. Wazari, much respect.
Respect.
And bless up. Guys, stay tuned for more awesome interviews, and have a blessed one. Peace.
Thank you for checking us out on Good News Jamaica TV for content that informs, inspires, and transforms. Please like, share, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more positive Jamaica content. Walk good.